Hello, thank you for joining me in this new video. This time I have the Xiaomi 15 Ultra and I will share with you what I like the most and what I like the least about it after testing. So, as always, let me advise you not to buy the Xiaomi 15 Ultra without first watching this video. Let's take into account its launch price, which in Mexico has been 34,999 pesos. In other words, it is one of the priciest devices we are going to encounter. Certainly in some aspects it is going to be excellent, but it will also have other areas where it should improve if it wants to justify selling at such a high price. Although by the time we are recording this video, the device might have already decreased in price significantly, and with that we might be able to overlook several of the aspects we didn't like. Let me begin with what I enjoyed the most. The screen offers various color calibrations, original P3 Gamma or P3 Gamma, or sRGB. Well, it even allows you to customize the contrast, adjust the gamma, and much more, so you can make the screen appear exactly how you prefer it to be. It also allows us to control the volume of applications independently, so that if you have several applications playing at the same time, you can make one sound louder and another a little lower, which is something that not all cell phones allow. The iPhone's microphones will deliver outstanding quality. Regarding the cameras, they have a very advanced system, which I find most impressive about the phone. For instance, the periscope camera creates a beautiful optical blur without needing portrait mode. So from that point, you can capture excellent pictures, and let's not forget, the video recording appears absolutely stunning. With this telephoto lens, you can also take very impressive macro shots, due to the telephoto camera's macro capabilities, which are quite remarkable. The portrait photography is excellent, offering a touch of Leica color. You have a variety of styles to select from, and each one looks remarkably high quality. It's important to mention that the periscope camera performs exceptionally well even at night, showcasing its impressive capabilities. This cell phone is truly outstanding when it comes to photography. And camera features. The zoom is among the best available, making the experience highly enjoyable for me. Another really strong point is that not only can the main camera record in 4K at 30 frames per second, but also any of the rear cameras can record in that high quality. This feature is incredible because both the ultra-wide, the main, and the two telephoto cameras can do this, which is really cool. Moreover, even within the camera interface, there's a built-in teleprompter allowing you to insert your script and read it while recording simultaneously, a feature not natively available on other devices. Sure, you can install other apps, but they often cost money or have annoying ads. I like that this is integrated into the system. The multi-camera option is great for the ecosystem, allowing you to use multiple phones of the same brand to control them from a tablet or another phone, giving you several angles simultaneously for your video. It's fantastic. Also, the telephoto camera can record macro videos of an incredible quality. We will also find support for Bluetooth 6. In fact, it was one of the first devices to integrate this technology, and it also comes with my remote to use this device as a universal remote control with a TV, air conditioner, and similar devices. And obviously at the level of performance is brutal. In my test, it took 15 seconds to open each application, so it responds lightning fast. However, let me share what I didn't enjoy. The front camera's fixed focus was the most annoying, especially for a pricey device focused on photography and video. You simply can't have a front camera this poor. It's not that it's completely terrible, but considering the price range it competes in, is truly not acceptable. We notice some overexposed areas with this front camera. When we closely examine the rear cameras, we find chromatic aberrations and overexposed spots, especially in areas with intense backlighting. It's a bit disappointing given the competition. You will also notice that when taking night shots, it might overexpose the photos. However, simply lowering the exposure compensation can result in photos that look a bit more natural. But, well, these are minor details if you're being particular. Where it might disappoint is in the portrait video, which is recorded in full HD. Many competitors allow 4K video with a blurred background. The front camera is poor in photos and video, especially at night. The reality is that it appears to be a camera of much lower quality, and the one-handed mode is activated in a manner that is quite challenging. Furthermore, it does not allow us to easily reach the elements located on the opposite side of the screen. I really do not like this mode at all. Additionally, even on the home screen, you can start to notice some spam or advertising within the notifications. The entire experience of the system feels more like that of a budget cell phone rather than a truly premium one. I believe that Xiaomi really needs to pay very close attention to this particular aspect, especially considering these models that are significantly more expensive. It's understandable that the system might display these types of ads, especially in more budget-friendly devices. And while I'm aware that you have the option to disable them in a high-priced device like this, it is simply unacceptable. Additionally, another downside is the lack of the Google Extended Unlock feature. It only includes the Smart Unlock through Bluetooth. Let me explain. The integrated function lets us link a Xiaomi watch or bracelet to keep the phone unlocked, so you don't have to use your fingerprint pattern or code each time, as long as the watch stays connected. Additionally, Google Extended Unlock allows you to also make the device stay unlocked in trusted places, so it gives you more versatility, and it's something that is not available. This phone, in my battery tests, it did not perform well. The truth is that the battery discharges fast, and even though it supports 90 watts charging, generally fast charging will be only the first few minutes. But in reality, the charging from 0 to 100, you are going to notice that it is not the fastest. In fact, the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which has 45 watts, takes 4 minutes less in its 0 to 100 charge, and curiously only had 1% less in 15 minutes. So the truth is that there is very little optimization going on here. We don't quite understand why, but although the loader might sound impressive, it really isn't that impressive. Finally, in games that are heavier with the highest graphic settings, you might notice quite significant heating. I believe it's a device that prioritizes the camera much more than providing very high performance in games, because it doesn't have as much room for cooling, given its advanced camera system. If you already bought it, share your experience in the comments. For those unaware, we use this phone to record a lot of our posts, so it's quite good. Let me know if what bothered me bothered you, or if you didn't notice we've reached the end of this video. If you liked it, let me know.